question regarding the Khilafah. Is it not true that the Khilafah of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was already decided without the involvement of Ali radiallahu anhu, who was burying the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Didn't the Prophet say clearly that Ali is the Mawla of those who I am the Mawla of? Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about Ali, only a believer will love you and only a hypocrite will hate you. With this in mind, what should we say about Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, who disobeyed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by fighting Ali?
With regards to the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, Allah Azza wa Jal has said in the Quran, رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. This is a general verse, there are no exceptions to it. Allah is pleased with them and they are pleased with Him. Likewise, the Prophet ﷺ said, لَا تَسُبُّوا أَصْحَابِي. Don't curse my companions. Don't curse my companions. For verily, if one of you were to give the mountain of Uhud in gold, you were to give that as charity, it would not be equal to a half of a handful of what one of my companions gave. Half a handful of wheat and barley, it would not reach that level. And the evidences go on and on and on about the status of the companions. Therefore, for those groups to come along and start casting doubts upon Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali radiallahu anhu ajma'in, and upon Muawiyah and others, they have gone against the Quran and the Sunnah. These are the people Allah Azza wa Jal chose to be amongst the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah chose them to be the ones who took this message and passed it on to others. To claim that the very closest people to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam betrayed him, this is claiming that the Prophet ﷺ, a'udhu billah, was unwise and very foolish, a'udhu billah, for even saying this in his actions. How could, if I, as a business partner for example, chose someone and for 15, 20, 30 years I worked with him, the day I died he turned around and started stealing from my family and doing this and that. Who is the greater fool? Who is the bigger fool? It was me for not looking through him, for not seeing through him. How about the Prophet of Allah Azza wa Jalla? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, his closest companion, so much so that even Allah declares Thani Athnain, the second of the two. The second of the two, Abu Bakr is the second of the two when they're in the cave. He marries his daughter, the closest person to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On his deathbed, this group claims that Abu Bakr led the prayers. What are we going to claim of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam if he didn't choose the right person? How about Ali radiallahu anhu himself? If he, as this person claims, was given the khilafah, where is his manhood and bravery and courage? Wallahi, it is an insult to Ali before anyone else radiallahu anhu, to claim that he was given the khilafah and he sits there silently and Abu Bakr takes it from him. Were he a real man, and he was a real man, he would have stood up even if it meant his life, it meant his death, and he would have said, who are you to take the right that the Prophet ﷺ has given me? This is my right, and he would have fought for it. But he was silent. He gave the bay'ah to Abu Bakr. Even this group claims this. He didn't say anything throughout the time of Abu Bakr. During the time of Umar, he gives his own daughter in marriage to Umar. And if you read this group, what it says about Umar, a'udhu billah, a'udhu billahi thumma a'udhu billah. Ali himself, by their own testimony, gives his daughter to this person. What type of man is he then, according to you? During Uthman's time, he obeys Uthman, doesn't revolt against him, rebukes the neo-Khawarij that tried to kill him, is not involved with them. Then when his time for Khilafah comes, and it was his time for Khilafah, he is a man, he is a companion, and he shows his true color. And never does he speak against Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman, even while he's a Khalifa. They're dead now. They're dead now. So what type of man is Ali himself radiallahu anhu, if you claim that he was given the khilafah and he let Abu Bakr usurp it from him? This is an insult first and foremost to Ali before anyone else. It is also an insult to the other companions. All of them remain silent. It is also an insult to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He chose these people to be his companions. He married their daughters and he gave his daughters in marriage to them. Abu Bakr, he married his daughter. Umar, he married his daughter. Uthman, he gave him 2 of his daughters in marriage. Ali, he gave also 1 daughter. So he chooses these people to be the closest, and they all betray him in the end. A'udhu billah. If you were to ask the Jews who the best people were after Musa alayhi salam, they would say the 70 people from the children of Israel who went with him to meet Allah. If you were to ask the Christians who the best people were after Jesus, they would say the 12 disciples that ate with him at the Last Supper. If you were to ask this group, the Rawafid, who the worst people are on the face of this earth, they would say the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. So they are worse than the Christians and the Jews in this regard. Likewise, this insinuation of Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. If you don't like Muawiyah, I advise you, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, I advise you to not read the Quran. Do you know why? Because Muawiyah was one of the people who wrote this Quran that you recite. The Prophet ﷺ chose Muawiyah to be one of the scribes of the Quran. If you don't trust Muawiyah, go find another Quran, because you cannot trust this Quran. It's that simple. When the Prophet ﷺ is choosing Muawiyah to be one of the people who records the Quran until our times, he is one of the few people, the few scribes that the Prophet ﷺ has, along with Zayd and Ibn Mas'ud, just a handful of people. Of them was Muawiyah. If you don't like Muawiyah, go write your own Quran. Don't choose the Quran of Allah Azza wa Jal. May Allah Azza wa Jal guide us to the truth.